Archangel Michael says the hour has arrived, and the gates that creaked all month have finally opened for you on this very date. The wind that carried whispers has turned into a trumpet note, steady and bright. Stand still for a breath, because what descends now is written in gold across the midnight of your life. On this 21st of August, a decree wrapped in light meets the earth at your feet. A journey that looked like desert becomes a corridor of fountains. Every footstep you take tonight echoes with approval long prepared for you. The timepiece of heaven has struck the moment that was kept for your name alone. A hush falls over the unseen as a scroll breaks its seal. There is no delay inside this promise, only the smooth certainty of divine timing. Your blessing approaches like dawn, not rushing, not late, simply inevitable. It touches the threshold of your home, tasting the calm in your rooms, learning the rhythm of your heartbeat. It knows exactly where to find you because it was tailored to your breath. Even as doubt tried to tie knots in your path, hands larger than storms slipped through every snare. The tangled seasons melt like frost before sunlight. The air is warm with arrival, and arrival has your signature on it. A banner rises over your day, not a banner of battle but of victory remembered before the war began. The bright seam of destiny stitches shut the old tears in your story. Everything heavy slides to the floor, and your shoulders remember their true height. Those who watched for your failing now blink at your rising. Their shadows are unable to swallow your horizon. Your steps are not loud, but they are thunder to any plan built against you. Tonight is not ordinary, it is appointment. It is a lamp placed in your hand, already lit. You are meant to carry it through the hallways of what once frightened you. There is a vault in the sky that opens only at certain hours, and this is one. The key was shaped by your endurance, and now the lock yields. Doors do not argue with the owner of the key. You will feel the change first as a soft tilt of the heart, a clearing at the edge of thought. Then it becomes weighty like fruit at the end of a strong branch. This is ripeness, and ripeness does not return to green. What belongs to you steps forward without apology. It knows your scent and the sound of your name when whispered from the center of yourself. It has waited at the border of your life until the exactness of this date. You were never forgotten in the counting of promises. Your portion did not dissolve while you wept. It stood like a bright tower beyond the fog, and now the fog thins. Every hour that felt wasted is reclaimed by what arrives. The ledger is balanced without noise, and the page turns. You are not forced, you are invited, and the invitation is embossed with authority. There is a quiet path plainly marked in front of you. Each stone along it has been warmed by care. Walk, and the path will widen, not narrow. The signal fires have been lit along the ridges of your future. The watchmen have completed their vigil. Your coming is no surprise to the hills, they have prepared to echo your name back to you. In the city of your thoughts, a window unlatches. New air rolls in, scented with cedar and early rain. It tastes like reassurance, and reassurance turns to strength. Do not measure this by what you used to receive. The portion is not the old cup, it is a new river. Cups might spill, rivers learn to carve their own bed. Your hands will not remain empty, for they were not shaped to hold absence. The blessing arriving now fills without flooding. It matches your readiness, and your readiness deepens as you accept it. The map you thought was lost was in your pocket all along. The corners are worn where your fingers worried at them in low light. Tonight you unfold it, and the routes glow with quiet certainty. The watchers who keep faith's treasury lean to listen for your yes. When you speak it, the room shifts. The floor becomes a runway, even the silence has lift. Old walls become doors, old doors become open fields. You are not pressed into smallness anymore. Space itself aligns to the size of your calling. Some will call it coincidence, it is orchestration. Some will call it luck, it is legacy. Some will call it sudden, it is right on time. The blessing that bears your name has learned your gait, your laugh, your quiet. It will not mistake you for anyone else. It arrives like a friend walking up the path, not like a stranger knocking in the night. You have outlived the night that said it was endless. Dawn did not ask for permission to enter. It simply came because it was always scheduled to arrive for you. There is gold hidden in your ordinary that bright hands unveil tonight. The corners of your room catch a soft glow that refuses to fade. You are housed in favor that knows how to sit still and how to move. Your feet will not stumble on the same stones again. Memory does not evaporate, but it is renamed. What hurt becomes a teacher that bows on its way out. The pageantry of heaven does not always flash, sometimes it settles like certainty. That certainty enters your chest now and sits on the throne you reserved by your patience. It is not loud, it is absolute. Listen to the cadence of this night as it becomes a promise you can feel. It does not sprint beyond you, it walks beside you. You are equal to it, not overwhelmed by it. There is an instruction that carries sweetness, not burden. It is simple: receive. Receiving does not mean doing nothing, it means opening with trust. Your enemies planned complicated traps, your blessing steps over them with ease. The simplicity of light confuses elaborate darkness. It does not argue, it illuminates. Heaven has not forgotten addresses, and yours is marked. Messengers do not wander, they arrive. They find you because you have remained findable, even in sorrow. A name is spoken over you in rooms you cannot see. That name means, kept, and it means, lifted. It means, worth the wait, and it means, now. The calendar in the unseen has circled this 21st of August in royal ink. The circle is not a fence, it is a garland. You wear the day like a crown that fits exactly. You are stepping from expected lack into unexpected supply. The bridge between them is not fragile, it is anchored. You can cross without fear of collapse. The threads of your story pull through the needle of this hour. The stitch is clean, and the fabric holds. You are wrapped in what fits, not in what merely covers. The promises that once looked distant bow to proximity. They move in and take their places on your shelves, in your plans, in your language. You begin to speak like someone who has met their future and shaken its hand. People who misread you will watch without words. There is nothing to explain when fruit speaks. There is only the sound of branches giving way to abundance. Your rest will deepen as your provision increases. Anxiety cannot share a table with assurance, one will rise and leave. Tonight assurance stays. You will notice doors you did not see because they were not meant for you then. Now they open at your approach. They learned your step while you learned patience. This is not a small revision, it is a new edition. The cover of your life changes, but the author remains faithful. The chapters ahead carry the scent of fresh ink. You have been carried, and now you are commissioned. Carried through nights, commissioned for mornings. The mantle fits your shoulders with the comfort of destiny. The loudness of old disappointments becomes soft like distant rain. They do not vanish, but they stop dictating the weather. You become the climate of your own courage. Where you thought you ended, you begin. The border was only a bend. After the bend, the road widens into something like freedom. You will be surprised by the ease of what once felt impossible. When timing aligns, effort becomes a dance, not a struggle. The rhythm you hear is favor keeping time. The hands that release this blessing are steady, ancient, and kind. They never trembled over your name. They hold you and your tomorrow with equal care. Your home receives a visitation of order. Papers find their place, plans find their sequence, and time obeys your purpose. This is what it feels like when heaven tidies a life. If money felt like a storm, now it becomes a stream. Streams know where to go without shouting. They turn scarcity into flow, and fear into stewardship. Relationships that needed mending receive the gentle thread. Words become bridges instead of weapons. Silence becomes space instead of distance. Opportunities that dodged you begin to wait at your door. They stop asking if you're ready, because readiness is written on you. They recognize their counterpart. The ache of delay drains from old wounds. New skin forms, tender but strong. You are permitted to move without bracing for pain. You will discover rooms in yourself you never toured. Lights switch on, revealing gifts that slipped between cracks in busy days. They lift their faces now and greet you like relatives long absent. Your sleep tonight arrives like a meadow. It is not empty, it is green. You lay down in confidence that morning will not steal what night delivered. You will speak differently in the mirror of this hour. Not louder, not boastful, but sure. You will know the weight of your own yes. There is a letter in the post of the invisible world, stamped and sealed for you. Its text is brief but heavy. It reads, "Welcome to what you asked for and did not abandon." You will find yourself reaching for the pen more often. New forms, new agreements, new entries in the ledger of your life. Sign with calm hands, the ink will not smear. Where your name was mishandled, it is restored. Reputation returns like a bird to a steady branch. You do not chase it, it comes. The music of your days turns from minor to major. The theme is still yours, but the key has changed. Listeners feel it before they understand it. You will watch small doors become large just by your presence. Authority expands to the size of assignment. Rooms adjust their dimensions to fit the work you carry. Your heart will not run ahead or lag behind. It will keep pace with the blessing, step for step. This is what alignment feels like in the body. The path does not erase the memory of the wilderness, it redeems it. You will harvest wisdom from fields that once frightened you. The harvest is peace dressed as knowledge. A table is set for you where you once stood outside. The chair has your imprint already, as if you had always been expected. You sit, and the room exhales. The clock on the wall loses its power to threaten you. Time becomes servant, not master. Deadlines turn into lifelines, pulling you toward fulfilled purpose. A letter of release is issued to every heaviness that overstayed permission. One by one they exit through doors that do not swing back. They carry no souvenirs from you. You are not behind. You are on the platform exactly when the train arrives. The conductor smiles because your ticket bears today's date. Your courage will spread to those near you without speeches. Even your quiet will teach. The steadiness in your eyes becomes instruction. Some roads that looked straight will bend to avoid harm you never saw. The detour is not delay, it is design. Safe routes often look like long routes until the end explains them. You will hold your blessing with both hands and an open heart. Gripping is not needed when trust is present. What is given for you is not eager to leave you. Your work will feel planted, not scattered. Tasks line up like well-behaved children ready for their lesson. You teach them calmly with the authority of focus. In rooms where you once whispered, you will speak clearly. Not to dominate, but to direct. Clarity is kindness to purpose. You will notice provision hiding in familiar places, like light in old frames. Shelves you dusted 100 times will suddenly reveal a book you needed. The ordinary will conspire with the extraordinary. The horizon is closer than it appears. Distance was an illusion created by tired eyes. Rest brings near what looked far. Those who love you will feel their relief as your peace rises. You become a lighthouse in your own circle. Your steadiness draws their small boats home. You will feel gratitude arrive before any proof touches your hands. That is not denial, that is alignment. Gratitude is the key that matches this door. The language of not yet dissolves into the language of now. You are allowed to accept what once felt too big. You can be small and still carry bigness with grace. Your blessing does not compete with anyone else's. There is enough sky for every star to be bright. You are permitted to shine without apology. Your morning routine becomes a ritual of power. Little habits become levers. The day hears you when you speak to it with a steady voice. You will stop rehearsing loss, because gain is present. The script changes, and so does the ending. Your memory will learn to celebrate without suspicion. Provision will sometimes look like people. They come as answers carrying hands and skill. You welcome them without fear of debt, because love owes nothing but itself. A corridor of favor runs through places you thought were closed. Keys appear that fit locks you never knew were there. You will become fluent indoors. You will love your endurance when you see what it delivered. Patience was never empty, it was a warehouse. Tonight, the doors roll up. The scent of new beginnings lingers on everything you touch. Papers, clothes, even the handle of your front door. Freshness refuses to leave. The map in your heart receives new cities. You will travel by obedience, not by panic. Each stop stamps your passport with unexpected joy. You will meet your own eyes with trust. The mirror becomes covenant, not criticism. You are a promise kept to yourself. Every seed you forgot you planted begins to answer the sun. Little green voices rise from dark soil. They know the way up better than you know the way forward. Your laughter returns without bargaining. It sits in your mouth like a fruit that finally ripened. Joy tastes familiar because it always belonged to you. You will close chapters gently and open new ones boldly. Hinges do not creak when they are well oiled with wisdom. You have the oil now. The right words will find you when you need them. They will not rush or scatter. They arrive on time like trains that respect the schedule of purpose. Your blessing travels with protection that cannot be bribed. Escorts of peace flank your steps. They do not sleep and they do not tire. What you lost will not return as it left, it returns upgraded. Returns are not rewinds, they are revisions. You will like the new version better than the old story. The river running through your life deepens quietly. Fish gather where the depth is. So will opportunity, friendship, and rest. You will witness your name opening doors you once could not push. This is not pride, it is promise doing its work. Let it work. The honey of this season coats sharp memories and turns them edible. You will digest the past without bitterness. Strength absorbs what used to sting. You will see small signs first, numbers aligning, calls returned, paths clearing. Then larger signs, contracts, reconciliations, releases. Each sign is a bead on one line that spells this day. A rhythm of yes moves through your week like a tide. It lifts stranded boats back into motion. You are one of those boats. Your prayer life turns from emergency to conversation. Fires still happen, but you carry water now. Water is heavy, but you are strong enough. The image you hold of yourself becomes accurate to the blueprint. No more shrinking to fit old rooms. The tailor of destiny has finished the final fitting. You will look back at this 21st of August as the hinge your door swung on. The creak you heard was not warning, it was welcome. Your house is aired out and ready for guests of goodness. There will be moments of holy surprise so gentle they almost feel ordinary. That is the cleverness of blessing, it prefers to blend with daily bread. You will break it and discover it never runs out. The clouds that threaten become ceiling decor, not storms. Shade follows you like kindness. Sun and shade take turns to keep you at peace. Your words will sign peace treaties within yourself. Parts that argued now find a shared table. Unity is what power looks like when it stops performing. You will plant again without flinching. The field is friend, not foe. The rain already knows your address. Promises owed to your bloodline will locate you because you were willing to stand still long enough to be found. Inheritance turns into instruction. You will teach others how to wait without withering. The sound of closing behind you is not loss, it is security. What is meant to be outside stays outside. What is meant to be inside sits at the hearth and warms your hands. You will sleep tonight under a sky that admires you. Stars are old, but they still delight in keeping watch. They blink like guardians agreeing with your story. And when you wake, the blessing will not be a dream's trick. It will be as tangible as your breath in the morning. It will travel with you into the ordinary and raise the ordinary to its level. Carry this with calm hands and a steady gaze. Walk through your day like a cathedral, tall and filled with quiet bells. They ring without noise, because confidence can be silent and still be heard. Nothing can close what has been opened by decree. If a door swings shut, it is only the wrong one making way for the right one. Your steps know their own future now. The angelic announcement has been made over your life, and its letters do not smudge in rain. You can move, plan, sign, build. The ink is waterproof. You are escorted into rooms that once felt above your station. They are not. They have been waiting for your arrival and now they breathe out relief. Your blessing includes wisdom to hold it. Not the brittle caution of fear, but the supple strength of stewardship. You will know when to save, when to sow, and when to simply savor. Tonight is not a performance, it is a coronation of daily things. Keys, lists, calendars, doors, hands. All of them lifted to purpose without glitter but with glory. Walk into the next hour without bargaining for proof. Proof is already down the hallway, leaning against the doorframe with a kind smile. It will join you as you pass. The earth beneath you agrees with your rising. Even the floorboards seem kinder. That is how it feels when weight is lifted. There is nothing frantic in this moment. There is only fulfillment arriving at the speed of peace. Let it find you the way a familiar song finds a quiet room. The night bows, the morning curtsies, and your name is announced between them. You are exactly where you need to be for exactly what is coming. Hold still, then walk, then soar. The words have been spoken, and the seal is complete. You are free to live inside what once lived only inside you. And it begins now, fully, gently, completely. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says the night is still open and the hallway of favor remains lit. The decree of this date has not finished speaking over your life. It is still unfolding like silk unrolling from a spool that never tangles. You are standing where old burdens finally. The current of this hour moves around you like water that remembers your shape. It fills the empty places without noise or demand. You feel steadier because steadiness has landed and taken a seat. This blessing knows the coordinates of your needs with precision. Provision rises in the right corners and calms the rooms that used to echo. Calm is not delay, calm is mastery wearing quiet shoes. Your courage will read this night like a map. Roads you feared are lit with the friendliest lamps. None of them flicker, because certainty has no interest in drama. The page turns without snapping, and you hear the soft assurance of a new chapter. Ink dries fast when the author is finished with argument. The sentence that holds your name carries the warmth of completion. You will not miss what is meant, it walks at your pace, not a stranger's pace. Timing honors your readiness because your readiness honors truth. Truth prefers people who have made room for it. Where you once braced for impact, now you brace for increase. Increase does not overwhelm, it organizes. Order is the signature left behind by love when it works a room. You will notice your eyes choosing horizons instead of walls. Horizons do not hurry, yet they invite. They are gentle persuaders that teach the body how to rise. Hands that once trembled now become instruments of design. Plans land like birds that trust the branch. Nothing breaks beneath you because the wood is seasoned and the roots are deep. Your name travels ahead of you with clean reputation. It wears no borrowed shine and accepts no cheap crowns. It carries weight because it carries truth. The answers you waited for line up like guests who know their place at the table. Each one brings a dish that matches your hunger. There is no competition among answers that were always meant to serve you. This hour is a covenant hour, not a negotiation hour. Covenant speaks in clarity that does not need to be loud. It stays even if the room empties. You will be surprised by the softness in difficult spaces. The same doorway that resisted you now swings with ease. Resistance becomes respect when timing corrects the room. What you hold will not leak, because your vessel has been strengthened. Lessons line the inside of your life with new integrity. Integrity keeps what generosity pours. Friends who are for you will feel the lift on their own faces. Your peace becomes weather in your circle. Weather does not ask permission to be felt. Your path threads into the larger fabric without losing its color. You keep your tone while joining the symphony. Harmony is maturity smiling at individuality. Money learns your language and stops pretending to be a storm. It becomes a servant that respects boundaries. Numbers line up like practiced dancers who know their steps. Work begins to mirror your essence rather than compete with it. The tools in your hand warm to your touch. Results arrive without the old panic that used to follow effort. You will walk into rooms where no introduction is required. Recognition is not flattery, it is fulfillment. Fulfillment remembers faces that waited without bitterness. Your body understands this peace and responds kindly. Sleep lands like a soft, sure weight that does not argue. Morning rises without hurry, yet arrives exactly on time. People assigned to help you will appear with practical gifts. They will not inflate themselves or shrink you. Partnership will feel like two hands lifting one table, steady and strong. Old grievances collapse under the lightness of better days. Forgiveness becomes architecture, not sentiment. It builds bridges that carry real traffic without creaking. You are authorized to prefer life-giving rooms. You walk out of stale spaces without apology. Air is supposed to be fresh, and now it is. The doors in front of you speak a common word. That word is welcome, and it means more than entry. It means belonging with responsibility and joy. You will not waste energy explaining your rise to those who refuse to see. Fruit is fluent in every language. Results speak without accent. Each day of this week carries a small messenger with it. They deliver confirmations in ordinary envelopes. You open them and feel your shoulders lower in relief. Your voice finds a register that does not strain. Even your silence gains authority because it rests on clarity. People hear you when you are still, and stillness becomes your strength. You keep the promise you made to yourself in smaller seasons. You honor your word with simple actions repeated well. Repetition becomes ritual and ritual becomes rhythm. The blessing does not flirt, it commits. Commitment is not heavy when it matches your capacity. Capacity expands safely because the foundation is sure. You will make choices that align 3 layers deep. Surface, center, and core agree. Agreement is the fastest vehicle in the city of destiny. New skills wake up like muscles remembering practice. They look at you and smile because you did not abandon them. You pick them up and they fit your hands. People assigned to misunderstand you drift to a distance that protects your peace. Distance is not war, it is wisdom. Wisdom arranges seating so that everyone can breathe. You shift from proving into producing. Production without panic feels like honor. Honor brings a clean glow to the workbench of your life. Your day learns how to open with gratitude and close with completeness. You taste the dignity of enough. Enough has music and the tempo is relief. You will see the line between stubbornness and endurance clearly. You keep the second and release the first. Release makes room for the right arrivals. This 21st of August keep speaking as long as you keep receiving. Receiving is not passivity, it is permission. Permission tells goodness where to sit. Phone calls return with answers that used to hide. Messages carry tone that respects your boundaries. Communication becomes clarity wrapped in kindness. You will notice that your creativity wakes like spring. Ideas arrive with roots and leaves. You plant them with discernment and water them with consistency. The right invitation finds you without flattery. You read it and feel a click inside your chest. That click is alignment, and alignment never shouts. Your calendar stops looking like a battlefield. It looks like a garden with seasons that make sense. You prune without guilt and harvest without fear. The right doors will not punish you for knocking late. They were timed for your arrival and kept their hinges oiled. You walk in and the room feels like it practiced greeting you. Compassion toward yourself becomes a policy, not an occasional mood. Policies protect what matters most when emotions wander. You keep your own heart safe without building stone walls. You will not chase what is already walking toward you. You conserve strength for building. Builders need steady hands more than fast feet. Your blessing includes the courage to say gentle no. The gentle no protects the sacred yes. Sacred yes is the place where your life sounds like itself. You recalibrate the way you celebrate. Celebration turns from escape into gratitude. Gratitude becomes strategy that multiplies calm. The unseen teams assigned to you keep their watch. They coordinate outcomes you cannot plan. You move like someone who trusts choreography designed by love. You open drawers, files, and memories without dread. Nothing inside has authority to shame you anymore. Even your past behaves when the future steps into the room. The way you carry responsibility becomes beautiful. You stop dragging it like a chain and begin wearing it like a garment. Garments can be tailored, and this one fits. Your relationships respect the laws of healthy distance and joyful closeness. You teach with example more than with talk. People learn because peace is easy to imitate. Favor marks your travel and you're resting with the same ink. Movement and stillness both feel holy. You are permitted to enjoy the ordinary with extraordinary ease. Words given to harm you fall to the floor without sticking. You do not throw them back, and you do not wear them. Floors know how to swallow what never deserved air. New agreements replace old survival pacts. You stop making promises to fear. You make promises to purpose and keep them gladly. Time you thought was gone returns with interest you did not calculate. Interest arrives as efficiency, joy, and insight. You spend it on what loves you back. The mirror becomes softer without becoming dishonest. You stand a little taller, and that little is enough. Enough is the throne where contentment sits without laziness. You finally feel the difference between urgency and importance. Urgency fades when alarms stop lying. Importance stays and smiles because it can wait while you breathe. You discover energy reserved for your art, craft, or assignment. It steps forward now because the season is welcoming. Seasons have manners when destiny hosts the table. Promises that included your family line stir awake. They look at you and nod because you stood your watch. Watchfulness is honored by fulfillment that arrives without noise. You will sense the stopping point each day without resentment. Stopping is not quitting, it is wisdom keeping you valuable. You end days with strength enough to begin again. The signature of this night is clean power. Clean power does not shout, manipulate, or pretend. It works and rests with equal dignity. The landscape of your finances learns to be honest and loyal. You track what comes and what goes with calm eyes. Calm eyes see opportunities that anxious eyes miss. Your dreams increase in color and instruction. You wake with clarity that sticks through breakfast. Clarity becomes a companion that enjoys quiet rooms. Projects that stalled receive a respectful push. The push is gentle but decisive. Decision is relief that remembers compassion. You will meet people who feel like tomorrow greeting today. They carry introductions to rooms that match your purpose. None of them come to rescue you, because you are not stranded. The blessings attached to your name travel with ethics. They do no harm and leave things better than they found them. That is why doors keep opening without protest. You refuse to rent space to dread. You lease to hope because hope pays on time. The paperwork is signed with steady joy. When small conflicts arise, peace answers first. Peace does not posture, it solves. Solutions respect everyone at the table. You will know how to keep what you receive without clutching. Open hands can still hold well. Holding well is the art you master this season. Rest becomes part of your strategy, not a reward you fear you do not deserve. Strategy that includes rest wins more often and lasts longer. Longevity is the prize that patience buys. This date writes itself into your memory as a gentle authority. You will refer to it without theatrical stories. Quiet victories age well and teach the loud ones how to behave. Your environment begins to mirror your internal order. Shelves find their logic and rooms find their rhythm. Rhythm is kindness to days that used to stumble. You will recognize the moment to sign, send, or step. That recognition feels like a soft bell struck in your chest. Bells like that do not lie when peace is near. Creative structures rise around your gift, not to cage it but to protect it. Protection is not fear, it is honor. Honor builds longevity for beauty. You stop confusing chaos for intensity. Intensity can be pure and still remain kind. Kind intensity is the fuel of meaningful work. When envy looks, it finds nothing to grip. You are not competing with a neighbor's sky. Your sky is vast enough for your season and your seed. You refuse to apologize for surviving and growing. Survival is not your label, but it trained your roots. Growth is your name now, and growth is generous. The flow of encouragement turns inward and outward with balance. You feed yourself with truth and feed others without starving. Balanced generosity lasts beyond this season. Your room for joy expands and the ceiling lifts. Laughter knows your address again. It shakes dust from corners you forgot to visit. You begin building without narrating every stroke. The work speaks for itself at the right time. Silence during construction is not secrecy, it is focus. You will practice gratitude in details that others call small. Your eyes learn to measure wonder in ordinary units. Wonder keeps you young where it matters. A gentle boldness rises in your spine. You do not chase validation or hide from responsibility. You stand, walk, and decide with the quiet of someone who belongs. The blessing that traveled this far with your name begins to unpack its bags. It brings tools, not trophies. Tools make rooms better and keep glory humble. You keep kindness as a constant policy when success knocks. Success that learns kindness becomes legacy. Legacy looks like people who are better because you were brave. You create margins around the sacred parts of your day. Margins protect art, prayer, planning, and joy. Protected things multiply and teach the rest of your calendar how to behave. You will feel the ache of old seasons dissolve when purpose arrives. Ache does not argue with purpose, it yields. Yielding is relief that tastes like water after a long climb. New partnerships form without the old awkwardness. Alignment handles the introductions. Mutual respect keeps the pace healthy and the laughter real. Your next chapter begins with a full breath, not a frantic sprint. Breath fuels clarity and carries you through. You step into rooms designed to welcome your exact courage. The promise of this night will not fade when morning opens the blinds. It will mature across hours and weeks with patience. Patience is prosperity learning how to last. Keep walking in the cadence you learned while waiting. Waiting taught you music you cannot forget. That music is the metronome of your blessing as it builds and settles. Archangel Michael says the corridor of this night is still unfolding, and the lamps along your path burn with steady purpose. The decree spoken over the 21st of August continues to pour like a clear river. You stand where fulfillment meets patience and calls it beautiful. Your blessing grows muscle as you breathe, learning your stride and your schedule. It waits at thresholds with the manner of a trusted guest. It walks in only where peace has already set the table. The room that once felt too small now stretches to fit the size of your calling. Ceiling and floor agree to rise and hold. Space obeys assignment when assignment is ready. You have entered the portion where clarity does not rush or stall. It measures itself to your readiness and moves with you. This is the choreography of favor that never trips. What you build next will not wobble under the weather of opinion. It will stand because the foundation is aligned with a word that cannot fracture. Structure respects source and becomes durable. Every delay that wore the mask of denial reveals itself as protection. Routes adjusted themselves to avoid unseen edges. You are spared from risks that never deserved your courage. Your hands remember the weight they can hold without shaking. Capacity returns with calm in the bones. Confidence wears humility and looks good on you. The horizon you chose begins to move toward you as you move toward it. Distance loses its drama when purpose is present. Nearness becomes the natural atmosphere of your goals. You will see order join your days like a kind companion. Lists behave, plans align, and interruptions discover manners. Rhythm becomes a shelter that sings. The phone call, message, or letter you need arrives with the right tone. It carries respect, solution, and timing. Words land softly and do serious work. You stand graceful inside opportunities that used to make you tense. Growth makes room for breath. Breath makes room for wisdom that fits. Old narratives fall apart in your hands because truth weighs more. You do not argue with paper-thin stories. You file them under lessons and keep walking. Provision follows instruction like a trained companion. When you move on the right prompt, doors do not creak. Hinges remember oil because alignment is generous. Your home receives the signature of peace that lingers. Corners hold light even after night passes. Morning finds everything where it belongs. Relationships selected by destiny hold their shape without strain. Mutual honor becomes the daily language. Encouragement travels in both directions and returns multiplied. The skill that waited in the wings steps into the center without shouting. Craft becomes devotion in motion. Devotion produces excellence without exhaustion. You will watch the soil of your effort answer with fruit. Fruit does not apologize for being visible. It proves the unseen process without boasting. Money wears integrity in this season and keeps its promises. Numbers show up on time and leave as planned. You stay in conversation with stewardship that is kind. You bless what you finish and move on without dragging chains. Completion becomes clean and quiet. The next assignment recognizes you because you arrive unburdened. This date keeps speaking into rooms you have not entered yet. Introductions rehearse themselves behind doors that will open. The script is written in a steady hand and favors your voice. Your sleep wears the crown of restoration, not escape. Night gives back hours you once lost to worry. Morning brings focus that fits like tailored light. Courage stops pretending to be loud and becomes consistent instead. Consistency lifts more than volume. Your yes gains the weight that moves outcomes. You notice the difference between pressure and presence. Presence brings outcomes without squeezing. Pressure fades when peace takes its rightful seat. The right mentors and allies find you without theatrics. They recognize craft, character, and cadence. Agreement does not force or flatter, it aligns and builds. You do not rehearse the errors of former seasons. You rehearse the excellence you now carry. Practice becomes prophecy when it is faithful. Time bows and behaves because you finally hold the clock with grace. Hours become instruments, not enemies. Deadlines become lifelines that pull you into delivery. The doors that stay shut no longer insult you. They escort you to the correct entrances with dignity. Each no is a signpost that protects your yes. Your voice settles into a register that welcomes trust. People sense the safety inside your words. Safety makes room for speed without breaking anything. The 21st of August writes itself into your archives as a turning hinge. The hinge oiled itself while you waited. Now the door swings without effort and stays where you place it. You will notice that ideas arrive with companions named plan and capacity. Inspiration refuses to travel alone. Implementation holds the map and enjoys the drive. The rhythm of gratitude keeps both feet honest. One foot is peace, the other is purpose. Together they cross distances once considered impossible. You forgive yourself for not knowing what you could not know. Gentle truth repairs the timeline and releases strength. Strength smiles because shame lost its job. Your table seats the right assignments with room for joy. Joy eats slowly and refuses to rush dessert. Satisfaction turns out the lights with a wink when the day is done. You respect the quiet seasons that trained your ear. Quietness taught you to hear the difference between urgent noise and important signal. Signal now fills your room and points you forward. Work that fits your blueprint keeps arriving. You say yes to what matches and no to what drains. Boundaries stand like friendly fences that protect gardens. The blessing continues to unpack tools for your hands. Tools that measure, tools that shape, tools that finish. Finishing becomes an anointing that follows you. You practice kindness as a lifestyle, not a tactic. It oils the gears of every collaboration. Things move because people feel safe enough to bring their best. You note the disappearance of chaos as a badge of maturity. You do not miss the adrenaline of disorder. Peace proves it can build faster than panic. The voice of self-doubt fades under the chorus of consistency. Results sing a song that doubt cannot drown. You hum along and keep producing. You feel the soft authority of this season in your spine. It holds your posture without rigidity. Flexibility and strength learn to dance. Rooms that used to intimidate become assignments you manage with calm. Titles lose their costume jewelry in your presence. Substance recognizes substance and nods. The habit of daily excellence protects you from the storms of mood. Mood now rides in the back seat while discipline drives. Destination remains in view and within reach. You bless the small wins as seriously as the large ones. Small wins are bricks that build cathedrals. Cathedrals rise because bricks are faithful. Your heart chooses to remain open without being unguarded. Openness invites abundance, wisdom manages the door. You host life with dignity and joy. The calendar of the unseen keeps whispering yes over your steps. You move in that yes like a river in its right bed. The banks are strong and the water is clear. You honor the mentors who shaped you by finishing well. Finishing well becomes the thank you that matters most. Legacy answers with a bright echo. The fear of missing out retires because you live in timing, not panic. Timing smiles at you from each aligned event. You return the smile with gratitude and action. You care for your body as a sacred instrument of assignment. Energy rises to meet respect. Respect multiplies health because agreement lives inside habits. Your generosity gains strategy and becomes sustainable. You give without emptying. Wells refill when stewardship listens. You stop decorating cages and start building bridges. Bridges carry you toward rooms that match your peace. Movement becomes meaningful and measured. The blessing remains gentle and firm in the same breath. Gentleness writes the invitation, firmness guards the boundary. Both wear your colors well. You delight in order that does not suffocate creativity. Order frames your art and lets it breathe. Creativity thanks you by producing on time. You redefine success as obedience sustained over time. Results follow like well-trained companions. Companions enjoy the journey because the pace is humane. You learn to celebrate progress without asking for permission from old memories. Memories accept their new assignment as teachers, not rulers. Teachers smile when students thrive. The 21st of August keeps pouring its oil across your week. Meetings tilt toward favor. Projects admit they have been waiting for this exact version of you. You will find language that turns complexity into clear next steps. Clarity feeds courage, and courage feeds delivery. Delivery feeds trust in a circle that keeps turning. You locate the precise center of your assignment and operate there. Peripheral noise stops drafting you into battles you did not choose. Focus earns results that silence debate. You study your peace like an expert and protect it like a treasure. Peace proves itself as profit in every ledger. Profit measured in calm buys years of good work. The right invitations come with right exits. You enter with intention and you leave with honor. Reputation grows sturdy because you practice beginnings and endings well. Your schedule discovers the freedom of margins that think. Thinking time becomes the engine of excellence. Excellence loves engines that are quiet and powerful. You bless others without leaking your core. Boundaries cushion generosity so you can keep going. Longevity smiles and pulls up a chair. Your creativity learns to wear boots on weekdays and wings on weekends. Boots build, wings dream. Both serve the one horizon that stays true. You stop chasing what has already been promised. Promises trace your path like a constellation that cannot fall. Stars keep their positions while you keep your pace. You hear your own name without flinching. Identity becomes a room with windows. Light enters and stays because you no longer close the curtains. The blessing places a calm pilot in the cockpit of your days. The instruments read true because the air is clean. Flight plans file themselves in the right clouds. You treat your future with the kindness of preparation. Preparation removes fear from tomorrow. Tomorrow bows to those who show up ready. Your circle refines itself without drama. People who carry peace stay, and those who carry storms seek their own weather. You love everyone and prioritize alignment. You hold the pen that writes your agreements with dignity. Signatures reflect steady conviction. Paperwork stops being a chore and becomes a ceremony of progress. The habits that once hid under excuses step into the light. They either serve or leave. Service becomes the standard and excuses lose their seat. You notice that scarcity no longer tells you who you are. Identity stops bargaining with lack. Abundance sits quietly and teaches perspective. Your attention becomes a currency you spend with wisdom. You invest it where returns are measured in peace and purpose. Dividends arrive as clarity and time. This day continues to open like a door that enjoys doing its job. Entrance after entrance, room after room, step after step. You walk without hurry and still arrive early. You stretch without tearing because flexibility is guided by truth. Truth keeps you safe in rooms that expand. Expansion respects your pace when you respect your process. Your gratitude now includes yourself for staying. Staying when it was dull, hard, quiet, or unseen. Staying was the seed that became this harvest. You cross thresholds with humility that knows its name. Humility travels well with authority. Authority in you has learned to smile. The rain that falls on your work distinguishes seed from weed. Seed drinks and rises. Weed loses interest and withers. You counsel your heart with facts from your spirit. Facts like you are kept, you are equipped, you are ready. Counsel becomes comfort that produces action. The peace you carry begins to solve conflicts before they form. Environments adjust when calm walks in with credibility. Credibility comes from consistency that endured. Your eyes register beauty again in ordinary corners. Beauty heals timelines and dignifies effort. Dignity keeps the head level and the feet kind. Your harvest calls to you in the language of responsibility. You answer with schedules, tools, and a bright yes. Yes echoes down hallways and opens more doors. You install systems that love your future self. Systems free your best energy to create and connect. Freedom gives your talent a daily invitation. Your name fits the title you hold with ease. Ease is not laziness, it is alignment. Aligned work multiplies outcomes and protects health. You offer forgiveness to the last corners of your own story. Corners receive light and stop hiding. Wholeness becomes quiet power that lasts. The blessing keeps its promise to remain. Remaining is the new miracle. Miracles that remain build cities inside a life. You honor old mentors and bless new students in one motion. Flow travels both directions when the source is full. Full hearts host legacies without strain. The melody of this season rests in your chest like a familiar hymn without words. It hums while you plan and while you rest. It is the soundtrack of settled favor. You carry order into spaces that long for it. Order greets chaos without contempt and shows at the door. Rooms sigh in relief when you arrive. You practice endings with the same grace as beginnings. Endings done well protect the soul. Protection gives you courage to start again. The 21st of August remains a banner over the corridor of your year. It waves without noise and stays visible in every weather. You walk under it and remember who you are. Simplicity returns as a trusted advisor. You choose clear over clever and true over trendy. Results follow the honest path with gratitude. Your voice in private carries the same integrity as your voice in public. Integrity becomes your unseen armor. Armor keeps you soft and safe at once. You count your joys like a careful steward and find more than expected. Counting joy multiplies it. Multiplication becomes a daily friend. The work of your hands receives appointments it can keep. Calendars find agreement with energy and purpose. Agreements keep stress from stealing your breath. You choose to be the calm in every room you enter. Calm is not passive, it is directed strength. Directed strength builds while others burn out. Your days acquire a glow that does not depend on applause. The glow comes from alignment with what matters. Alignment is the quiet miracle that repeats. You navigate success with the same humility that carried you through waiting. Waiting taught you how to hold power with kindness. Kindness keeps doors open for others while you walk through. The blessing speaks a final word over this stretch of the path. It says, continue with peace, continue with purpose, continue with joy. You agree and step into the next hour with steady grace.